it's just your face again, staring back once more. No happiness, just pain. Nothing left, right or any way you think. We plummet into this, the void surrounds. Into this we sink, running through, burning round, howling now, made time brown, so cold now, lost, caustic abrasion, just once the Holocaust, lick my wounds, heal me now, please, my wounds, heal now. Cherish the moment, it lasts not long. Something once there now is gone. Just it can be so. The time now just go. Just go. Leave this once beautiful go. Just go. Leave this once beautiful. The time now just go. Just go. Leave this once beautiful. Hello. Welcome to Near Futurist TV, episode 18, where it is me, Derek Anthony Williams, looking quite different today, as I opted to pretend to be someone else with dark hair for a change. So coming up in around 20 minutes or so, we'll be having a chat with Westenra, who are taking the top spot on the Saturday of my festival on 16th to 18th of December. So that's something that's happening. Got some music of other people to play for you as well today. So let's see what we have for you. Try and remember. Let's have Hagleywood Vampires with Portrait of Youth.
Our first song is titled Portrait of Youth. So I hope you enjoy it. And this song is based on the story of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, if anyone's familiar with it. He was naive and such a fool to think that he could have it all. A life of greed, a life of sin would lead to pain, loss and ruin. Behind the portrait lies the truth. Why he glows beauty and youth, hidden away out of sight. Secret he must always hide. He found love, it came too late. The fiend had lured him to his fate. Only now did he feel pain of never finding love again. Behind the portrait lies the truth. Why he glows beauty and youth, hidden away out of sight. A secret he must always hide. Beauty fades, it will not last. All is lost, the shadows cast. A poisoned soul cannot be saved. His deadly sins kept him enslaved. Behind the portrait lies the truth. Why he glows beauty and youth, hidden away out of sight.
Yeah, so that's Hagleywood Vampires, who recently approached me asking if I could maybe sort them a gig or something. Nothing at the minute, but hopefully pointed them in the direction of some places which might be of use to them. So I think it's nice to have something a little bit different. To have something acoustic, and it's got some flavour to it, I think, sort of slight touches of All About Eve. So Margaret the Dwig, yeah, Margaret Hedwig Gilbert. Yes, is there a recording of it? Let me find out if there is Hagleywood Vampires recordings. See if they're on Bandcamp or anything. It might be interesting to know. Let's see. I don't see anything immediately, but check them out on Facebook and maybe some other places too, and hopefully you'll find something of use there. So let's see. Right, I'm going to next play a band called Venus Flytrap. I need to change a few settings in VLC first, make it close after it's finished playing. So can't remember how to do that. There's got to be some kind of thing which allows me to do that. So God knows where that may be. I don't know. It's having to set a computer again from scratch. It makes things very, very awkward, you know. So as you don't really want it to end and then just sort of be left with the playlist. I'll leave it ending on the last frame, I think, of the video. So yeah, Venus Flytrap is going to be the next thing I'll play. Hopefully it will work. So this is Venus Flytrap, Control Addicts. They recently got in touch asking for a gig as well, and I thought they were quite interesting too. So enjoy them. Yeah, I think I had the name wrong there, didn't I? It's Control Addicts. And hello to Incubus Succubus and Diana Mina for Diana Miana. Sorry, not Diana Mina, really, is it? You know, Diana is meant to rhyme, I assume. That's the whole point of the name. And yes, hello to Incubus Succubus, who fabulously headlined my festival around the same date, I think it was. No, it can't have been the same date. In 2019. And we had a lovely, lovely gig in Manchester earlier this year. Need to get on with organising some for next year. I was a little cautious about doing that at first, as I didn't know if anyone would have any money next year, but since there have been sort of a little bit of help with people's bills, people seem to be coming out to shows still. So anyway, yeah. So I think it's about time to play some Westenra, really, isn't it? And then we can get on with having a chat with them. I thought I'd downloaded some earlier, but apparently not. So you'll just have to bear with me whilst I get some. So what did you think of Venus Flytrap UK, everyone? I think they're quite interesting. Hope to play a gig with them next year sometime, I expect. Right, so find a nice Westerner track to play. They have got some videos and stuff. I could maybe it's not got Westerner in the name. That's why I can't find it. Try this one and see if it'll work. So let's see if we have a verdict on. Yes, I do like to call you Margaret the Dwig because you have. And if you go using exceptionally long usernames, it gets very difficult to parse them when you're doing a live show and you've got to try and think on your feet a little bit. You know, these things are difficult, so don't make life difficult for presenters of Insurrectionary Near Futurist TV or whatever it is that I'm doing. Right, okay, I think I can play some. It is Dina now. Honestly, people are making life hard for me. Diana Mina. I don't know. So, Gertiosh really enjoyed Venus Flytrap. So that's good. Right then, let's. Hopefully, this is going to work, and I'll have a bit of Westerner for you now. This is Soulshine.
Feed off
We'll be joined by Westenra now, which you may have heard just a second ago. So being naughty and speaking when I've got their video on, disgraceful behaviour.
We are very naughty.
See what I've got to deal with. Honestly, you can't do anything. Right, so yes, hello, welcome, Westerner, who are shrouded in darkness, as you can see. So how's it going then? Yeah, everyone good?
Yeah.
Right, that's it then. Thank you. Goodbye.
You've caught us on a rare break, Derek, at the moment.
I'm still really busy.
I was joking.
You're not been doing anything lately. There's nothing going on. No, it's all very calm in Westerner world. So let's hear about Westerner then. Tell us about your band and everything. So I can go off to the loo for a bit or something and just leave you talking. You know, I mean, why should I do any work? You know, it's you that's got to be doing all the performing and stuff. So I've just paid for all this festival. So you know. Right, so tell us about Westerner and why did you start it, what's it about, and what you're trying to do, or something.
We've been going since, May 2019?
Yeah.
You guys started it first, didn't you?
None of us have actually born in Whitby, so we've all moved here for some reason or other, which is quite an interesting story, but that's another story. So we've all moved here. Carl's been here. How long have you been in Whitby?
10 years.
10 years. I moved here about 4.5 years. And
I'm 5 years ago.
And so for myself, when I moved here, I decided I've been in bands for 30 years. I said I'd had enough. I'm not going to do it ever again.
Yeah.
And then I met Carl, and it's his fault that we're doing this now. So we started jamming together.
So I hear you have a guitar.
Yeah. We started jamming, wrote a few songs. Quite liked them and thought, well, let's see what we can do with it. So we needed a singer, so we put an advert out for a singer, and that's where Lucy came in.
And you didn't find one, so then you got Lucy.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, Derek.
I was just expecting, that might be the way these bands come together, No.
But it was pretty quick like that.
Yeah.
Colin and I, and then Lucy joined.
It was like a month after you started sort of playing about with songs and things. We were just doing covers at first, weren't we? But, I know I was in a choir at the time, and I've been in choirs for like a long time, doing different stuff. And then I've been doing music with my dad. But then I really wanted to get in a band, so I saw that advert and I was like, oh my god, a band in Whitby that's doing goth stuff, yes. So.
What a bizarre concept, goth in Whitby.
Well, it is because there's no other.
No.
When we moved here, there was no other goth musicians at all. A few goths, and of course, there's a nice little bit of a scene that's starting to bubble up again. But musician-wise, there's not many at all, if any, apart from us. So
it's kind of peculiar, really, isn't it? That Whitby is kind of considered so much the goth mecca, so to speak, and yet not that many bands actually come from there. I suppose it is a bit isolated in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a theory about Whitby. I haven't told the others about this, about Whitby being a bit of a sponge.
Oh, here we go.
So yeah,
right. Okay. Well, let's hear this. This is exclusive. You heard it here first, folks.
So when you think about Whitby having had like over 25 years of Whitby Goth Weekend, going back to when it originally started, and there's been so much goth music, culture, all the different festivals that have happened right through from Whitby Goth Weekend to the Bram Stoker Festival they used to have, right up to Tomorrow's Ghosts now, and the other events, Marquee Masquerade, Goth at the Brewery, etc. All that has been happening over the past 25 years, but there's been no band in Whitby for it. So it's been soaking up all this gothic culture and music. And so maybe with us three just turning up and suddenly being musicians, it suddenly picked us and said, that's it. I've had enough of this goth culture now. You lot have it and run with it. So, it's a theory.
It seems to make some sense to me, at least. Anyway, but that's probably not a good thing. But yeah, so what was it you were doing covers wise initially then?
Was it Lady Gaga, Bad Romance.
The audition song for Lucy was the cult
She
Sells
Sells Sanctuary, which
I'm so sorry.
we just
Well-
used to get so lost towards the end. It's like, let's just not do that one anymore now.
I mean, that is my philosophy all the time with She Sells Sanctuary. Let's just not do that track.
Well, because there's only 3 notes on the bass anyway.
None of them are bad, so you know.
Well, it's not bad, but then it meant I could sort of just play easily and just have a listen to Lucy singing, really. So, and also for Carl as well, it was quite an easy song, wasn't it, to play? So it was more or less a case of
It was fun.
Yeah,
So
and it was
you said,
good.
like, when you started though, you were doing covers. You were playing covers out as a band, or just in like rehearsals?
I had a few gigs.
We had 2 of our own songs.
Yeah, when we started, we wrote 2 songs that we released as singles: First Light and The Last Beat of Our Hearts. And then we were talking to Richard from The Little Angel, and he had a band, The Souls of Misfortune, playing, and he said, "Do we want to support them?" So we had our 2 own songs. We'd done She Sells Sanctuary.
We did Hot and Cold by Katy Perry as well, didn't we?
Yeah, and we did Lady Gaga, Bad Romance.
Total tunes, both of them.
Yeah. And we did one by we did Whore by in this moment.
So difficult.
So basically, the covers were a necessity for us to do these gigs. So we had the 2 gigs lined up. We had Little Angel and the very first Goth at the Brewery a couple of days later. So we had to do these covers just to get us over the line, so we could get some gigs.
Yeah.
But we dropped them pretty soon once we started writing our own stuff.
Yeah.
So, being as Lucy wasn't a sort of organic recruit, how was it? Did you quickly find that you were actually on the same wavelength and it did gel together pretty quickly?
Well, yeah, because I spotted you in the Little A, didn't I? Before we'd never met before, and you walked through the front door, and I was like, that person looks interesting. So I was like, come over here, come sit with us. And I've seen you about. And then Emma, our ex-drummer, I knew Emma as well. So we kind of all was like, she messaged me afterwards going, I hear you're interested in joining my band. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, we already knew each other, and then in a way, so it wasn't too hard to gel, was it? So
I know, how's it been sort of finding the writing process between you then?
I think, well, this is where sort of the L word, lockdown, comes into it.
Yes, yeah.
So we're sort of looking at the timeline here. So we did our first gigs in end of 2019, and then of course beginning of the following year is when all it went to whatever. So our writing was quite interesting because we weren't allowed to be in the same houses together. We had to go back and forth, as a lot of bands would have had to have done, remotely. And so we'd be sending musical ideas, Carl and I, between each other and copying in Lucy. Lucy would be singing it into her phone and then sending a phone file to us. I'd be then sticking her vocals back into we use Logic, into the Logic file folder and using that. So we were working really roughly with regards to writing songs, but it meant that we had everything in place. So when we could get together and actually record them,
We just had to record it.
We just had to record it. So we were writing really like very remotely, which was interesting.
And there was times as well where I'd been writing lyrics and I kind of got some sort of melody, but wasn't quite sure how it was definitely going to go. And then I was sort of sent it to you going, I've got this lyric idea. Have you guys got anything to go with it? And then Dom, you sent something back that was like, I've got something like the perfect thing in mind, and it fitted so well together. It's like we'd like subconsciously, like telepathically written it.
Yeah.
So although
we hadn't, it was weird.
Although it was remotely written, a lot of it was remotely written. It just so naturally fitted, and that gave us a lot of confidence that what we were doing was on the right path because it was just clicking.
Yeah.
So what inspires your lyrical writing then, Lucy?
I suppose personal experiences or a bit about mental health and trying not to like follow society's rules, and sort of that's been a bit of the EP stuff's been a bit more of a like
Smash
rebel
the system, yes.
Yeah. So it varies. It's not always like personal stuff, but
So which society's rules have you smashed most recently?
The fact that I don't want to have children. So so I got so sick of my mum asking for grandchildren. I wrote a song. I was just like, whenever she says, "When's grandkids gonna happen?" I'm like, just play the song. And it's "This Is My Life" off the EP. So yeah.
No interest in human larvae at all.
I've got a cat. I'm quite happy with my cat, and then music,
there's
and songs of my babies. So yeah.
Right, Zoom's gone funny on me just this second.
Oh,
I'll
no.
get it back. Hopefully that's sorted. Yes, I'm back there now. It's me minimising Windows to blame, so you went black.
Okay.
You went as black as Whitby Jet for a while.
Oh,
Which
You keep mentioning this Whitby Jet.
internet this, don't you?
You do know we don't have any. It doesn't live here.
I know. As I said, that's the only reason I've booked you for this festival. I'm hoping you're just going to bring me some down so I can sell it and make some money. You know? So let's talk about the Whitby Abbey gig. That's what's more goth than playing Whitby Abbey?
Oh, it's so cool.
I mean, that is something you can definitely mark as a major achievement in life. Definitely. I mean, what was your reaction when you got asked to do that then?
Well, although we live in Whitby, people sometimes think that things fall into your lap because you're a goth band in Whitby, so people are coming to us and saying, what about this, what about this, what about this? The reality is that everything that we do in Whitby is a lot of hard work. And we're so lucky, and we're lucky to find people that when we can work with them are absolutely fantastic to work with. Just sidetrack it slightly, Whitby Brewery, who host Goth at the Brewery, are absolutely amazing, facilitating all of us goths turning up, listening to music, cramming their car park and their venue and stuff like that. And that happened because we managed to approach the Goth at the brewery and see if they wanted to do something on Goth weekend. Similar thing really going into the Whitby Abbey. They announced that they were doing 125th anniversary of the Dracula novel. So we're quite a proactive band. We don't tend to sit around. So we sort of said to them, you know, don't know if you know we exist, but if we can help out in any way, then we're very happy to, whether it be publicising the cause or anything like that. And again, English Heritage and Whitby Abbey were absolutely fantastic. And they came back to us and said, well, we'd like you to come in and actually play a live set in the grounds of Whitby Abbey. The only other band that's done that is Coldplay. So I don't know whether that's a steamed company.
When you think about it, there's quite a lot of similarity between you.
Well, yeah.
You're both alive and
breathe air.
You have hair. That I know.
Yeah. So
they asked us instruments. Yes.
They asked us to come in and prepare ourselves to play maybe one or two sets. They didn't know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the day. As it turned out, we sort of anticipated it might be a little bit more than one or two sets.
So we have to be really flexible, didn't we?
Yeah, and we ended up playing, I think it was like 3 sets in the end, wasn't it? Throughout the course of the day.
It was a very long day.
And it was absolutely fantastic. They looked after us fantastically. And the lovely thing at the end that we found out the other night was when we went up to the illuminations at the Abbey, they invited us up to that. They told us that they now refer to the arches where we played in front of, they now refer to that as the Westenra arches.
That's really wonderful. You are sort of totally a part of Whitby now. So
yeah,
it's the thing is, we love the place. We've all moved here. We weren't born here, so we've all obviously been drawn here. And I think that when you actually choose to move somewhere, you have more of an affection for it probably than sometimes where you're born, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you forgot, you missed out a bit that the arches used to be called Coldplay arches.
Oh,
we've taken them.
You've reclaimed them
stolen
in the
the
name
title.
of goth. Definitely a good thing there. So let's talk about Black Midwinter. So,
yes.
And when you've been out of Whitby, you've not really been necessarily that high up on the bill, but I've watched your progress over the last few years, really since we did the lockdown Goth City, and I've been watching with interest and seeing what you've been doing, but I know you've not really been necessarily that high up on bills outside Whitby, but I felt this is the right time for you, really, and I'm wanting to really sort of push this idea of this is the now, and for me, you sort of very much represent the idea of a new modern goth band, and let's put that at the top. So are you actually going to deliver for me then?
Of course we are.
We can't wait. We can't wait.
You're going to actually fulfill doing the job of a headline set for this festival.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, honest, I think this is the time that you definitely deserve it after the effort you've put in the last few years. And, you know, I think with what you're doing, we need to sort of refocus and say goth is now. And being as you're quite a new band, I mean, it might seem a bit bizarre to some people that, you know, a band that's only been around, say, 3 years or so can be at the top of a festival, but this is what we need to do. Like the Future Armour festivals I keep referring to all the time in the past, of like 1980 and so forth. Obviously they ran many years, but they were bands of the now. They weren't bands from 20 or so years ago. So you definitely want this sort of situation. So don't you think that goth is far too often focused on so far into the past?
Yeah, it's quite frustrating.
For it to survive and to continue, it has to have new bands coming through, new ideas. It certainly needs a younger generation to come through as well.
Yeah, we have been seeing a younger generation, haven't we? We see quite a few at the Abbey, and we see quite a few at the brewery and other gigs. It's definitely fresher blood coming through.
So for some reason we seem to be able to appeal to the people that have been into goth for a while, but also to people that are just getting into it for the first time.
You're straddling those two audiences, which is good. It's what we need. We need to connect old and new, and we need a new band to do that. And I just thought that, you know, and I had a chat with Joel as well, and he agreed that sort of we really need to, that's Joel of Goth City, that we need to sort of say, look, let's focus on now. I could probably probe you much further, but let's open it up to questions. But Incubus Succubus say hello, by the way. And we have a little link in with the wonderful Incubus Succubus. A couple of weeks before we come to you, we're playing at the Krampus Ball here in Whitby, and Incubus Succubus last year, they played a fantastic song they haven't played live for ages called "The Beast in Us All," which is an absolutely amazing song. So I don't know why they haven't played it live for years, but that referred to the title of the Krampus Ball last year, which was "The Beast Inside." So we're going to continue that new tradition that they've created by having a beastly song of our own. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but we're actually going to perform "Number of the Beast" by Iron Maiden at the Krampus Ball,
but in our
own style.
Yeah.
So we have Incubus Succubus to thank for that, by the way. So
and Julie and lots of wine.
And we'll bring it to Black Midwint2r if you'd like us to, Derek.
Well, I don't know if I can allow any rock music to take place.
It's definitely goth version.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the original.
There have to be some standards. I mean, if you dare to even play one note of She Sells Sanctuary, I'm chucking it straight out the door.
That's your sound check song then, Carl.
Are we allowed to play our Cliff Richard cover when we come?
Cliff is totally fine, but you play any second of She Sells Sanctuary, that's it. You're off.
You might too.
Oh dear.
And Incubus Succubus are very pleased that you're continuing the tradition of being beastly.
Oh,
I'm just hoping maybe we get some questions from people. Keep asking them for them, but they're terribly ignoring the. Come on. Someone, let's have some questions for Westenra before they disappear and turn into, I don't know, bats or pumpkins or something.
More wine.
Come on, any questions? You know, like ask them what colour underwear they're wearing or something. You know,
got to be black, hasn't it? Can't be white. Definitely not.
If you're waiting for questions, future plans for us if you're interested, Derek? Just in case you are.
No,
no, okay. The video anyway. So we've got so obviously we've got the wonderful festival you very kindly invited us to play, which we're really looking forward to. Then next year, we're going to appear on television again. This time with Jonathan Ross.
You're going to appear on the Friday night with Jonathan Ross.
I'm not sure it's going to be that. He last year he came and did. He started filming a series called, I think it's called Myths and Monsters of the UK, or Myths of the UK, and he came to Whitby on the hottest day of the year when it was 38 degrees in the shade. And so he came and did a bit of filming there, and he interviewed us, and we played a song for him, and they recorded that. So that's going to be hopefully end of January, beginning of February at some point. So that will be another thing which we will no doubt remind people is on.
Yes.
We have been asked where the beach scene was shot, but I expect it's Whitby, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. That beach in front of the pavilion.
Near the pavilion.
So
Yeah.
tell us about shooting your videos whilst we're here then. So how was it shooting the video for Soulshine, which I put on just before we did the interview?
We wanted to do something a bit different. We didn't want to just do a performance video. We wanted to try and get a story video, because Lucy's lyrics and the songs when she writes are they lend themselves to being more of a story and almost cinematic in a way. So we didn't want to just stick us around and just do a video of us playing. So that's why we sort of faded in some playing, but mainly with a story and some sort of some imagery to follow.
And it sort of showed the sort of transformation or something, wasn't it?
Yes.
With a red wig. And...
Yeah.
So we put a lot of thought into, as you probably well know when you're doing videos, into storyboarding it, into planning it. But it actually took longer to storyboard than it did to shoot the thing.
So many ideas, and we didn't end up doing half of them, did we? It was we'll use that in the next video, which we haven't actually got around to.
It took a lot of effort and a lot of time, and as we're not natural filmmakers, I mean, we want to do another video, but we probably would appreciate if someone wanted to help us with it.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyone got any ideas for videos for them, let us know in the chat. So we have also been asked by Incubus Succubus, did you have any other names you considered before plumping for Westenra? Great Dracula Whitby connection, by the way.
I can't really remember, to be honest.
We were sitting in the pub in Little Angel, and we were thinking, well, it'd be nice to link it to Dracula in some way, but not cheesy.
Yeah.
And so we went through a list of the characters, and then I think that was the second one we came up with. We said, oh, you're Lucy Westenra. Hang on a second. Westenra sounds great. And then Carl, who's the graphic designer, thought the W's you can see behind us, a W would make a great symbol. And so it just fell into place really quickly.
It's a fabulous logo, very striking. I think I like it very much.
Very talented, aren't you?
He's very talented. Yes, very clever.
And we have someone, Jim Danby.
That's my dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Father Jim.
I never expected him to be any relation at all. And I mean, just random coincidence that another Danby would chat. But when's the next video coming out? Because the last one is gothtastic.
Oh, bless him.
We'll probably need some help with the next one. You want to try and make it better.
Chat room, please give us ideas for what they should do for the next music video. We also have, it has been said in the chat by Margaret Hedwig Gilbert, the name Westerner solidifies that you are definitely a regular human band and definitely not vampires. I mean, I'm sure that's true, right?
Yes, that's quite true, yes.
Definitely regular, definitely not vampires at all. No.
Of course not. No, never.
That'd be welcome.
I mean, just because you live in Whitby, definitely, and sleep in coffins, nothing to do with being vampires.
Avoid the sunlight and everything.
Yeah, no, definitely not vampires. Just definitely regular human beings.
Regular people. That's all we are.
Honest. We definitely don't go round biting.
We're both scared of darlings as well, aren't we? So yeah.
So, let's say, what have people got in store for them at Black Midwinter then? What's going to be the great thing about seeing Westerner live there?
It's going to be a chance to hear pretty much all of our songs played live. We haven't played a that long a set before, so it's going to be a chance for us to do all that, which will be a great celebration for us, for a fantastic, to end off a great 2022 for us. But also, I think in a way, it's going to give us a chance to prove like your faith in us for booking us. So we'll have a lot of not pressure, but expectation of ourselves to deliver well. So, and when we do that, when we put pressure on ourselves,
we do better on the gigs that have got more pressure.
So I think you're going to we'll come out all guns blazing. Put it that way.
Well, that's definitely what I wanted to hear. Obviously, I mean, I'm not sort of, oh, we're going to come along. We might play a song or two. I don't know. Yeah. But we're not really going to be that arsed about it, you know.
We might end up playing songs that we've not played for a while, like Shadow of the Ghost. I can't remember what we've got.
So it's going to be pretty much the full-on Westenra experience. That's what you will get.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it horrible, the stereotype that sleeping in coffins automatically means someone is a vampire? One could simply be dead or just a goth. I mean, Michael Chadwick Gilbert says. So, yeah, anyway, so that's about it. Yes, there are still tickets available for this. Go to jointhenightshift.uk. You can find tickets for that and some other upcoming events of mine where I'm prancing about and doing my thing. Yeah, so that's basically it for this interview anyway. So thank you very much for spending a bit of time with me this evening. It's been lovely to finally sort of chat after quite a few times of sort of being in the same area but sort of never actually meeting properly. It's very difficult sometimes at gigs. So yeah, thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you do a blazing show on the 17th of December in Sheffield at Shakespeare's. So yeah, thanks a lot, and I will see you then. So wave bye-bye to everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm now going to play another one of your bits of music. Hopefully, anyway, after the resurrection. Let's see if this does actually play. So this is going to be intriguing. Let me just modify something a bit, and you can sit there awkwardly.
Okay. I was going to say something else, actually, to be honest.
All right, then I'll let you just about.
Okay.
I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's really cool that we get to do such a big festival in Sheffield, because it's the first time we played in Sheffield, but also Sheffield is where I moved from when I moved to Whitby, because I was at uni there. So it's really cool to be going back and doing a gig from where I used to live for 5 years. So it's lovely.
Right, then I shall play that bit of music of yours, and I will see you in December.
Yeah, see you in December. Bye.
Right, okay, I'm back on screen and everything now. I'm just about got the hang of this new setup. Margaret Hedwig Gilbert looks like they're a lot of fun live. I've been looking for that exact black coat she was wearing in that one clip, which I suppose is quite similar to my signature red coat. I mean, indeed, when I bought my signature red coat, I had the option of black or red, and I opted for red as I felt it was a bit more striking. So there you go. I've got a couple of events coming up, so I'll just show you what those are. Let's see. Have I got them? I can't remember where they are, so I'll just do it this way. They're probably in a perfectly sensible location. So coming up, first of all, next week, shall I make it full screen? Why not? Let's have it there. Right, so at the end of next week in Manchester, playing with The Web and Dots. Dots are lovely electropop instrumental covers and originals. The Web are the UK's premier electro goth punks, who are always a lot of fun. Gonna have a bit of Christmas fun, as well as, gonna mix the dark up with a bit of fun as well. Why not? We can have a bit of silly as well as being all dark and mysterious, but definitely not goth. Definitely not goth. And what's the other one? We're in London on the Friday after that. It's non-stop around here. It's near Futurism for the Homeless. John Doyle Band, Punk Disco and Decommissioned Forests. I would play a bit of those for you, but we haven't really got time. Just keep an eye on things. So yeah, there you go. Decommissioned Forests, a sort of electro soundscapes kind of thing, but sometimes with some spoken word vocal over it. It's really, really good. Punk Disco, who, well, does what it says on the tin, as the image says there. And of course, John Doyle Band, who I've decided for this gig, I've described us as new romantic glam goth punk synth pop, which, definitely not the goth bit though. Definitely not. What else can I tell you? I recently, this morning in fact, watched the first episode of Wednesday, which, God, the writing at first is incredibly clunky. Very, very clunky to start off with. It doesn't really get much amount better, to be honest, but the show looks like it'll be okay, but it's not sparkling, to say the least. It feels like it's possibly going to be a bit of a missed opportunity. It's not got the wit I'd hoped it would have, which is a bit of a shame. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that was pretty good. It took me kind of 2 goes to see it, because first time I went to see it I was exceptionally tired after coming back from Canada and stuff, and it was getting maybe a bit dangerous to drive home. But yes, anyway, the Black Midwint2r, look at all we've got going off there. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got on Friday, Mother of Crow's headline. We've got a possibly debut performance from The Black Clown, which is Maggie Fuzzbox, her new project. We've got Tantrum Zentrum coming up from London, and we've got Ghost Signals from Newcastle. All absolutely fabulous there. Them using live drums for the most part. And what we got on the Saturday there, we've got let's see, we've got Alexandria Corvin, you may know from Last July and Rhombus. She's doing her brand new material and probably a few covers in there as well. We've got Dead Blood Cells coming up from Medway, all the sort of east of London area there. They're industrial stuff. We've got the Black Riders Cult, machine drum, rock and roll, utterly bastard groovy, all that kind of thing. Just in case we lose the Sisters of Mercy, we've got a spare there. We've got the Glass House Museum. We actually have someone missing from there. We have Dawn of Elysium missing for some reason. They should be on after Black Riders Cult, but they're from Bradford and they'll be really, really good. It's total goth overload on that day. Glass House Museum from Stoke. fabulous songwriters, great friends as well. Gothzilla take the next spot, and I saw them at Goths on a Field. They were just so entertaining. And of course Westenra at the top there. And on the Sunday it's my electro special, where I'm just pleasing myself and to hell with anyone else. Jimi Hendrix, who's a beat poet to electro music, is got some really important things to say. We've got Astrofawn, who you may know from previous events and things. She's sort of slightly Björk inspired, and Oteka and that kind of thing, mixed with excellent sort of unusual vocals there. Dead Happy, sort of mixing electro and metal together in very bizarre but delightful combo. Factory Acts from Salford with their glorious post-punk synth thing. Holy Grail being terrifying in a wonderful electro goth, not goth, kind of way, and some idiots called Jandor Band at the top there, so I can sort of try and point to them in some fashion. Can I do that? It's very difficult, this, you know. There you go, Jandor Band, you know, Holy Grail, Factory. That's exciting, isn't it? Right, yeah, so I'm going to play us out now with a track from Lunar Twin, an electro band in America. So let me find them for you, and we'll finish the show with them. It's Beyond the Sun, it's their new single, so take a look at this. And hopefully I'll see you next week.